We lead off with the obvious number one pick in Joe Burrow. Now, this has been telegraphed for a long time, so I'm not telling you anything new. Let me just start by saying this draft has no trades, so that's the information you need outside of Joe Burrow. Now, Chase Young is arguably the best player in this draft. He should go number one, but quarterback is a much more need position. So, yeah, he gets pushed down the board. But if Washington doesn't select Young, I'd be surprised. Now, the Lions have a lot of needs, and a lot of people are talking about them trading out of this pick. Again, I'm not doing trades in this draft. That'll be later on. But Jeff Okudah fills their most glaring hole in the defensive secondary since they traded away their best player. Now, don't kill me on this, okay? The Giants absolutely need a tackle. They need to protect their investments. I understand they got a lot of needs on defense, and Isaiah Simmons by himself could fill all of them, but Thomas protects their quarterback and their running back, who were their last two first-round picks. Obviously, the Dolphins need Tua Tagovailoa. He's the only person who I would say could be the number one overall pick outside of Burrow. It's really only because of his injury that he's going this far down. He would change their franchise. Now, this is a Chargers pick. Okay, they really love very physical players. There's something about that team. They just always end up getting just freaks of nature physically. Mekhi Becton is huge and fast, and they need a tackle. They're going with Tyrod, so Becton makes sense. Now, the Panthers need their defense to be better than it was last year. They need pressure on the quarterback. They need to stop the run. Man, did they need Luke Kuechly to stay with that team. But he didn't. Derek Brown is the best defensive player here. The Cardinals need to protect the blind side of Kyler Murray. Their offensive line improving would be the best development they could get. They have a lot of skill position talent. Murray, and they just upgraded running back last year. This makes sense. The Jaguars got rid of longtime defensive captain Calais Campbell. Javon Kinlaw is the closest thing in this draft to what Calais Campbell was. He will ruin offenses, ruin the timing, lots of penetration. This guy's fantastic. Tristan Wirfs fills the most glaring need for the Browns. They are going to be doing backflips that he's available. A franchise left tackle. This draft has a lot of talent, and this guy falls this far. So the Jets take the first wide receiver off the board. This has been what everybody's talking about this year. Wide receiver is still a dependent position, so it's not going to go in the top three, okay? But CeeDee Lamb fills the immediate need of Robbie Anderson leaving. Now, the Raiders are, again, doing backflips. Jerry Jeudy is the prototype receiver for their offense. This is an offense that was built assuming Antonio Brown would be there. He's not the fastest guy, but he runs spectacular routes. That's what Jerry Jeudy is now at this point in his career. Now, Henry Ruggs is one of the fastest men on the planet. Imagine running a 4.27 40 time and being upset that that's what your time was. That's what's going on here. He would add a dimension to their offense they're desperate for. The Buccaneers need to defend against the pass. Their defense was amazing against the run, and they're bringing most of those front defenders back. So, yeah, upgrade the defensive secondary, and all of a sudden Tom Brady's got himself a deep run playoff team. Now, the Broncos, oh man, are they cheering for this. Now, don't kill me, okay? Isaiah Simmons is a weird position. I understand he's one of the top 5 best players, but people like him have fallen in drafts every single year, and the Broncos are the perfect fit. The Falcons really need pass rush. All right? They got rid of Vic Beasley. He was great. Then he got hurt. He came back. He was crap. That's really what you could say about most of their defense. But, man, Clavon Chason is a difference maker that they need. Number 17, the Cowboys. They need a corner. Their best player on their team, in my opinion, Byron Jones, left via free agency and signed a huge contract. Replacing him immediately in this draft is the smartest thing to do for them. The Dolphins need safety help. They've been upgrading the defensive secondary already. They're the team that gave Jones that gigantic deal. Upgrading the safety position would be fantastic for this defense. And McKinney is just really a scheme fit for what the Dolphins do. But the Raiders are then gifted with arguably the best safety in the class, just based off of scheme fit. Grant Delpit drops a spot, and the Raiders get a 6'3", flies like the wind, and can catch every ball thrown his way safety. The Jaguars need a target for the mustache. That's right, Florida man, Gardner Minshew, needs somebody he can throw the ball to that will actually catch it and do some damage on the peripheral. Justin Jefferson is exactly that. Now, the Eagles probably wanted Jefferson, but they get gifted the forced opportunity to draft Kenneth Murray instead. They've needed a middle linebacker that makes a difference ever since Jeremiah Trotter left town. This is the man. The Vikings, well, I mean, they've had a good run with the defensive front that they've had for a long time. They just let their premier edge rusher go in free agency, still available, oddly enough. But Epinesa is a perfect scheme fit for this defense. The Patriots need a lot of things. All right, Tom Brady covered a lot of holes. They need wide receivers. They need offensive line. They need a quarterback. And the best value pick at this position is Josh Jones. In reality, they're probably trading down. The Saints need a difference maker on defense. Much like the Eagles, the Saints have needed a real presence at the linebacker position ever since Jonathan Vilma was on the team. So, yeah, Patrick Queen makes a lot of sense. He won't even have to move. The Vikings, well, they needed a receiver that would shut the hell up and let their quarterback be the man in the room. And Denzel Mims is the best available receiver at this point as an all-around guy. He's not a speed demon, I get it, but he's good. The Dolphins are gifted with the perfect prototypical edge rusher for a Belichickian-style defense. Yetur Gross-Matos is overlooked a lot, and he's going to do some damage in the league. Now, the Seahawks are also gifted a very talented edge rusher at this position. Julian Okwara would be a top 10 pick if it was not for his off-field issues. This man is a freak, and the Seahawks are never ashamed of drafting a guy with off-field issues in college. The Ravens need more targets for this offense. Okay, Lamar Jackson really just scratched the surface with what he can be in the passing game, and he just didn't have good quality targets downfield. T. Higgins will be the high point ball catcher that he needs. If there was ever a defender that matched up perfectly with a defense, it's Ross Blacklock to the Titans. They need to stop the run, and the defensive identity that Vrabel has been bringing to that team matches perfectly with what Blacklock does. The Packers need a complementary receiver. All right? Davante Adams can't do everything, and he was the only person doing anything in this receiving core last season. Rager is the perfect complement. Speedy down the edge, he'll draw some attention. The 49ers, yeah, sure, they need themselves a receiver, but they also need a corner opposite of Sherman. And Trayvon Diggs falling this far, they're really going to be happy with that. They can find their receiver in the second round. The Chiefs needed a running back desperately ever since Kareem Hunt, worked his way out of town by smacking the crap out of some lady in a hotel. DeAndre Swift is perfect for this offense, and the rest of the league should be frightened.